Hey, it's Barry with Growing Roots Farm. I just want to give you an update on one of our kilns. As some of you may know, we do sell some lumber. I primarily do woodworking, but occasionally I sell some of the surplus lumber that we have. So we've created a solar kiln and a dehumidification kiln. We started with the solar kiln a couple years ago, and I'll have to do a video on that one day. We turned an old tobacco stripping room. For those of you who are familiar with that, it was a bump out on a barn, and we took the roof off. We put on some greenhouse roofing and turned that into a solar kiln. It's worked great. But the issue I was having was needing to dry lumber at a quicker rate, and I was also running into the issue of getting the temperature up to a high enough level that it would kill the bugs inside the lumber, because pretty much all lumber's got some type of bugs or insects in it, and you got to get up to a certain temperature before it'll purify it. So I'm going to turn you around here and show you the kiln that I built here. So what we got, and I'll try and keep the sun glare off here. What I've got is I think it's 14.5 foot long. Let me kind of pan around here. I think it's 14.5 foot long, and I think like 4 foot wide, 4.5 foot wide, and about 4.5 foot tall. Now, I did not put, pardon the mess in the background, I did not put a metal, I was planning on doing metal over it, but I've changed some of the plans. It's got a really heavy plastic over the top of it, and I strapped that down. So it's not normally blowing like this in the wind. But what we've got, and I'll get you in here a little bit closer. What we got, I've got a regular dehumidifier, just like you would get for like a basement, and I have a fan. Now, for those of you that know how these should be set up, this fan is not done correctly. The fans, let's see if I can get here and show you. The fans really need to be up in here, okay? With a little bit more of a gap behind the lumber, so wood can, so the airflow can go around through the lumber. It's all stacked. The stickers I have for here, normally a lot of people use 3/4 inch material, and all their stickers are 3/4 inch. I don't know why, but a long time ago I just had a bunch of 1x. So instead of doing 3/4, I started doing 1x material. So all of my stickers, for the most part, all of the stickers are 1 inch by 1 inch. It doesn't matter how I lay them down, they're at the correct thickness. But I plan to add some small fans that mount up here and kind of angle down, so the airflow goes around in kind of a circular pattern. But for right now, when I set up the fan, let me get back here. When I set up the fan, I don't have it blowing directly into the end grain. I kind of point it up, and I point it to where it kind of indirectly goes throughout the kiln. That way I'm not drying out just the ends of this at a faster rate. The dehumidifier does a terrific job. As long as I'm particular with the lumber before I put it in here. This dehumidifier got off Facebook Marketplace, and it has an access to drain out with a garden hose. I plan to do that here, but not yet. I've just been opening this up. I can tell off of the temperature and off of the humidity in here, I can tell when the dehumidifier needs to be emptied. I use this. You have to pardon me, I'm sitting down a little bit here because I notice when I stand above this kiln, the sun's in the background and getting a lot of glare. So I use one of these, I don't know how it's pronounced, Govee. I guess that's how it's pronounced. I'll show it here for a second, see if it looks in there. Nice little device for what we've used it for so far. It's come in very handy. I don't have any of the nicer nicer moisture content readers that I can put into the lumber and gives me real-time feedback. I don't have that, so I monitor all with this, and then I check when I need to. But the lumber, I can put right around 500 to 600 feet over on this side. As I said, this is a 14-foot long construction. See if I can block that sun glare. 14-foot long. It works really well. Dries out lumber. I typically get it down into like the 14-15% at the solar kiln, and then I move it over here. And within about a week and a half, I've got it, or 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the species, I've got it down from about mid-teens down to 7, 8, 9% moisture content, which is really what you want in furniture grade material. So when I do woodworking, that's what I want. The other part about this is that just the amazing thing, and I had seen it online before, but I wasn't quite sure how it would work. I don't have any heat source in here. I have just the dehumidifier and the fan running. The heat generated from those two alone gets this kiln up into the 140s, and it stays there for days on end. So it gets up high enough, and all I've got right now, and I'm going to change them later, but all I got right now, I think that's 2 or 2.5 inch thick hard foam. Okay, that goes up in here, sets up in here, wedges in, and then I use some straps to strap everything down. Oh, there goes Daisy. I don't know, maybe she's barking at, we got some deer running around here lately. She might be going after deer. But I just put those foam panels in front, and it's not even a perfect seal. I've got some work to do to seal this thing up a little bit better, but it works great. I've been very impressed with it. I got the plans off of, I think it's Virginia Tech's website. Virginia Tech has a plans for a solar kiln, and then they had these plans here. Now this is supposed to be loaded. Really, it's ideally loaded with forklift or with your forks on a tractor. We've been hand loading it, and then I just bring it in right into there. Right through the door is my woodworking shop. So it's nice and convenient, but it will be getting moved. It's a little bit of an eyesore right here next to the house. I want to get it moved also, so I don't have to do more work. I'm just going to keep it with the plastic. We're going to move it up to the barn and get it out of the elements a little bit and change some of the door configuration around. But so far it's worked great. I think you can kind of see the roof, or the ceiling, I guess. The ceiling and the back, everything has insulation in it, and then I just use Tyvek to wrap it all. I've got some left over. I don't know what it's called. It's like the bubble wrap that goes on the roofs of like barns to keep the condensation off. I've got some of that would work great in here as well, and I've got enough to cover this whole kiln. I think I'm going to add that to the inside of this just to help even more with the insulation value. But so far I couldn't be more happy with the way this has worked. It's taken it's allowed me to dry out lumber at a much faster rate, and I could really pack in maybe closer to 700 board feet in this if I was utilizing all the length at its maximum capacity. But most of the boards I've been drying in this so far have been the 8.5 foot range, maybe 10 foot range, but most of them have been the 8.5s. But it's worked out great. It's been nice material, and it was a nice project to build. It didn't take me too long, and I didn't build it exactly to spec that I got off the website. I changed just a couple things for us, but that is the dehumidification kiln. Very pleased with it. I've already dried out a couple thousand board foot in lumber, and I haven't had any issues with it with doing the woodworking. It's been really nice. Let me get you here. So As always, thank you. Like, share, comment. We really appreciate it. And see you next time. Bye.